Hi guys, it's Cheese, and I am going to do a podfic, my first ever one. So yeah, this fic is called Smile for the Camera by I Love Myths 2003. Summary: Izuku Midoriya has been recording all of the bullying and BS he's been forced to receive throughout middle school. He then compiles it into a series of videos and posts them online. They go viral. Notes: Basically, I woke up this morning with this idea in mind. Yes, that means I woke up and chose violence. It is not rated, no archive warnings apply. Additional tags are Bakugo Katsuki faces consequences, Aldera Middle School faces consequences, Midoriya Izuku is a little shit, Midoriya Izuku is so done, Author was writing out of pettiness, Nezu is proud, Aldera Middle School bashing, Bakugo Katsuki swears a lot, character bashing, Bakugo Katsuki bashing, smart Midoriya Izuku, angry Midoriya Izuku, petty Midoriya Izuku, revenge, Midoriya Izuku gets revenge, Podfic welcome. It has 3,000 words and it is a one-shot. Izuku's middle school teacher stood at the front of the room, a stern look on his face as he addressed the class. So, as third-year students, it's time to think seriously about your futures and what you want to do with your lives. I could pass out some career aptitude tests, but why bother? Then his expression changed as he continued, now with a smile on his face. I know you all want to go to the hero track. Throwing the papers he had been holding in his hands into the air, Izuku's class exploded in cheers, every one of his classmates activating their quirks in a show of power. The lens hidden in Izuku's chair beeped, red light blinking inconspicuously as it recorded everything happening in the room. Hey, Teach! Don't lump me in with this bunch of losers. I'm the real deal, but these guys will be lucky to end up as sidekicks to some busted D-lister. Ha! Bakugo's mocking voice broke through the noise. You think you're better than us, Katsuki? The angered voices of his classmates said. Let's go! I'll take you all on! Bakugo answered back with confidence. This wasn't unexpected of him. To be honest, Izuku had expected more than yelling when their classmates had questioned Bakugo. Huh. You've got impressive test results. Maybe you'll get into UA High. Their teacher's words led to another outburst of chatter from their classmates. He's going to try for the national school? A female classmate of theirs said. That school has a 0.2% acceptance rate, another classmate added. It's impossible to get into. That's exactly why it's the only school worthy of me, Bakugo declared before jumping onto his desk. I aced all of the mock tests. I'm the only one at the school who stands a chance of getting in. I'll end up more popular than All Might himself. I'll be the richest hero of all time, he gloated. People across the world will know who I am, and it all starts with UA High. He finished his speech with his arms clenched and chest puffed out. Inwardly, Izuku compared him to a peacock, so prideful in the fame that followed heroes, with no mention of the people he wished to save, or the villains he'd stop from hurting people. Izuku made sure the lens of the camera focused on Bakugo as he boasted about his chances of getting in, shifting in his seat casually to change the angle. He wanted to make sure the frame was just right in order to catch the look on Bakugo's face as he spoke. Oh yeah, Midoriya, don't you want to go to UA too? Izuku squeaked as the attention was brought to him. Bakugo froze from where he was standing. There was silence in the room. The uneasy air was eventually broken as every one of his classmates laughed at him, their eyes jeering and looking at him in distaste. Midoriya! You're kidding, right? There's no way you're getting into the hero course without a quirk! A male classmate sneered at him. Standing up, Izuku rushed to defend his decision. Actually, they got rid of that rule. I could be the first one. His words weren't well received as Bakugo exploded his desk, throwing Izuku to the floor. Izuku worried this may have damaged the camera hidden there, but he had no time to ponder the likelihood the camera survived when Bakugo approached him, eyes blazing with fury. Listen up, Deku! You're even worse than the rest of these damn rejects, you quirkless wannabe! He growled, looking at Izuku with his hand still sparking from his quirk. There was a cruel look in his eyes, and Izuku wondered if this was the day Bakugo would finally take it too far and become irredeemable. He hoped not. He still held out a chance for Bakugo to change for the better. You really think they let someone like you in when they could have me? Bakugo cornered Izuku into a wall now, and Izuku did his best to pacify his bully. You've got it all wrong! I'm not trying to compete against you! You gotta believe me! Izuku could hear his voice raise an octave as he panicked, the camera in his uniform probably catching all of it. I may not have a quirk, but I can still try my hardest, can't I? Bakugo wasn't appeased, face now resembling a demon, both hands were smoking, ready to attack Izuku at any moment. You'd never be able to hang with the best of the best. You'll die in the exams, he said, now resembling a demon even more as his hunched back and flaming hands, persistent to hurt Izuku, made him flinch back. Defenseless Izuku! The school's already crappy. You want to embarrass it more by failing so hard? He questioned. The rest of their classmates just watched as Bakugo continued his tirade. Eventually, class resumed and the lesson continued, but Izuku could feel their eyes burrowing into the back of his skull and whispered threats coming from Bakugo. He'd been relieved that the camera in his desk and chair were unharmed, but that was a close one. They now blinked as they caught everything happening around them. It was the end of class, and Izuku had planned to just go home like usual, when Bakugo and his lackeys stopped him. Stealing his notebook from him, Bakugo held it away from Izuku, a cold look on his face. I don't know what you're doing, Deku, but we're not done, he said, waving the notebook in Izuku's face mockingly. One of his lackeys looked at the notebook before asking, What you got there? Don't tell me you're taking notes on how to be a hero, the other asked, but it was more of a statement. It's so pathetic, they both laughed. He's delusional, they continued to chortle. Yeah, real funny, guys. Just give it back. Before Izuku could reach out a hand and retrieve his notebook, Bakugo used his quirk to explode it, throwing it out the window. That's so mean, Izuku cried, mourning the loss of his notebook. Most first-string heroes show potential early on. People look at them and just know they're destined for greatness. When I'm the only student from this garbage junior high to get into UA, people will start talking about me like that. They'll realize I'm legit. The next big thing. That's not ego talking. I just know I'm good. Bakugo explained it like it was fact rather than his big head talking. Apparently, his lackey agreed as a sing-songed ego escaped from his mouth. Then, Bakugo smiled. Izuku didn't like that smile. It was a smile promising pain and punishment if Izuku didn't do as he said. Here's a little word of advice, nerd. Don't even think of applying. Or else. Bakugo placed a hand on Izuku's shoulder, and he could feel the explosion burning into his Gakuron. The smoke made him feel a little dizzy, but he was used to it by now, with all the bullying over the years. As if he'd just finished imparting an order, Bakugo stalked out of the classroom, lackeys in tow. That's just sad. I thought you at least had some fight in you, lackey number 1 said as he walked out behind Bakugo. He finally gets it. He'll never be a hero. Better to find out now instead of later, I guess. Lackey number 2 added as they kept walking, throwing a glance back at Izuku. There was no pity there, just cold attachment as they agreed with Bakugo's words. The bully stopped himself just as they reached the door. You know, if you really want to be a hero that badly, there might be another way. He turned around and Izuku could feel hope spark in his heart. Was Bakugo being nice? Did he realize what he said was wrong? The answer was no, and Izuku could feel burning anger in his chest as what Bakugo said next registered with him. Just pray that you'll be born with a quirk in your next life, and take a swan dive off the roof of the building. That did it. Izuku was furious at the bully's words, and his fingers twitched as he adjusted the camera on his shirt, making it look like he was fixing his clothes and how they'd be damaged by Bakugo, but really making sure that the camera caught every detail as the bullies exited. Bakugo really was irredeemable. There'd be no second chances now. Izuku knew that people like Bakugo didn't deserve to be heroes. Thankfully, he knew how to stop it before any mistakes could be done by the hero schools. Mistakes like letting any of them in. Now energized with purpose, Izuku methodically took the memory card out of all the cameras in the room, leaving the one on his chest as it was, and replaced them with new memory cards. He stored the old memory cards in a hidden pocket in his bag and walked home. He had some video editing to do. Through his anger, he felt like he was close to spitting flames like his dad. How dare Bakugo say something like that to him? What if he really jumped, huh? What then? Bakugo would be a murderer then. And that's just him with the ego of a middle school bully. If he was ever a hero... Izuku froze. If he was allowed to be a hero, and said something like that to a fan of his, that fan might actually do it. If Bakugo was ever right about anything, it was that heroes held a lot of influence. Hearing something like that from your hero, Izuku knew that would be more than enough to push anyone off the edge. Now he had more reason to see to it that Bakugo and the rest of his classmates never got the chance to hold that much power. Though not as active in his bullying as Bakugo, their classmates and teachers had been witnesses to everything and done nothing to help him. People like that needed to be identified and uprooted at the source. Izuku wasn't blind to the politics behind the scene. Bakugo had an obviously powerful quirk and was dedicated to being a hero. Their school let him get away with so much that he would put them on the map once he went pro. It was a sick reason, but unfortunately, Izuku could understand why they did it. That being said, he wasn't going to let them get away any longer. His journey home was diverted by being attacked by the slime villain. It was an exhausting day of tears and anger, one life-changing decision at a time. Long story short, he was now training with All Might and had a future as the man's successor. Life was finally looking up for Izuku. That didn't change Izuku's original goal for the day, though. As soon as he got home, Izuku made himself busy by downloading all of the videos for the day. He'd been doing this since the first day of middle school, and he realized he'd be subjected to bullying with the teachers ignoring his cries for help. He was thankful for his forethought, because now he had hours and hours worth of footage, evidence against his classmates' bullying and the school's negligence. They'd all get their just desserts. This project was one that Izuku would have to work on for months to complete. He had all the clips that he wanted to include, but putting them in order, adding the sound, and making sure it ran smoothly was tricky. He had to make sure the dates were all correct and the camera angle was just right. Each instance of bullying he suffered had multiple clips from different angles. Izuku had prepared enough to make multiple different videos himself, but this one would have to be perfect. As the months trickled by, Izuku kept editing his video and adding any new instance of bullying to the now 48 hours of footage. It was satisfying to know that every one of his bullies would soon be watched by the world. Their crimes will be highlighted, and they wouldn't be able to escape the media storm that would follow. Heroes had to deal with the media, right? Well, he's going to give his bullies the VIP experience. He finally finished his training as well as his video the day before the UA entrance exam. He'd uploaded the video online as soon as he deemed it presentable enough and ran to the beach to meet up with All Might. Izuku felt like all his worries had disappeared. He was All Might's new successor and would be taking the entrance exam to get into the hero course. His bullies would soon know how it felt to be scrutinized by everyone around them, all within the same 24 hours. Izuku let himself smile giddily. This will be great. The UA entrance exam put a damper on his mood. He'd not managed to get a single point. Not one. He disappointed All Might. He'd failed. The thought whirled in his head for the week leading up to his UA letter arriving, but when it did, Izuku let out a sigh of relief. Principal Nezu was there, as a projection. Izuku Midoriya, I am happy to announce that you have been accepted into UA Heroics Class 1A. I am excited to see what you make of it. I quite enjoyed the project you worked on. I can't wait to see what you get up to in the future. Izuku was stunned. What had he done to catch the principal's attention? He was just regular old Izuku, albeit with All Might's quirk now. The projection paused, as if the principal had guessed his reaction, told him to watch the news before the projection disappeared. When Izuku finally turned on the TV and switched it to a random news station, he immediately knew what he did to catch Nezu's attention. There were reporters in front of Aldera Middle School, each one armed with multiple cameramen and microphones pressed forward, interviewing any student that approached. Hello, do you know about the blatant discrimination that runs rampant here? Excuse me, what do you think about the obvious villainous activity happening at Aldera Middle School? Why do you think that Katsuki Bakugo became a person who failed to understand basic human decency but still wanted to be a hero? Do you think that the school should be shut down for its inaction against such obvious problems? Is Katsuki Bakugo the villain of the school? Why would such a villain be seen as a hero when his victim was never helped? Questions were fired off by different reporters, and Izuku switched between different news stations to see the same thing in each one. Each had a reporter at the front gate of Aldera Middle School, questioning the obviously stressed out staff about their failure at being good educators. Izuku felt a smile grow on his face. Today was just too good. Not only did he get into UA, but now the school was being questioned and investigated. His hard work had paid off, on both fronts. Bakugo was having a bad day. In fact, a bad day was putting it lightly. It was more like overnight he'd become public enemy number 1 in the eyes of the media. He'd walked outside, going to pick up groceries for his old hag, when reporters had descended on him like vultures. They each had serious looks on their faces as they crammed microphones in front of his face and barked questions at him. Do you feel bad at all for the disgusting bullying of a classmate? Why do you think you deserve to be a hero amidst the evidence of your abuse of another student? Why would your school even help someone like this? Maybe the sludge villain was right. You are a villain yourself. The last comment finally made him snap. What are you extras even saying, damn vultures? He yelled. This only seemed to incense the vultures more, though, as cold smiles grew on their faces. Clear anger issues, obvious temperament, clearly not fit to be a hero, one reporter muttered. I hope UA fails him instantly, another commented, loud enough for Katsuki to hear. Huh? What did you say, extra? He was angry now, his rep reacting to his emotions and firing off in little explosions. Oh look, he's planning on hurting us now. A true villain, a reporter crowed, the cameraman with them pointing the camera at Katsuki's hands as he said so. Now Katsuki was furious. What are you talking about, you damn extras? I'm going to be the best hero there is. His outburst was met with disdain as every person around him stared him down, not one person flinching at his words. Before things could get uglier, a few police officers approached him, pushing their way through the crowd of reporters that surrounded him and taking him by the hand, dragging him out from the encirclement. Finally, someone to stop them from messing with him. From the reporters' looks, Katsuki knew they thought differently. "Officer, this is the kid from the video. The grossly quirkish bully that would tell his classmates to, and I quote, take a swan dive off the roof of a building," the reporter exclaimed, gesturing at Katsuki wildly. Wait, he remembered those words. How the hell did the reporters know? What video? The police officer who held him by the wrist didn't react, but now Katsuki could feel the cold anger that practically radiated off the man. "We are well aware. The authorities are taking action and serious consequences will occur. Both the students and teachers of Aldera Middle School will be investigated thoroughly, and any crimes they have committed will be brought to light. Please do not worry. We are doing our best to get rid of the problem." Then he eyed Katsuki, and Katsuki could feel his hair stand on end. This wasn't the look of someone who wanted to help him. This was the look of someone who loathed him with his very being. Katsuki wouldn't be surprised if the man just punched him in the face. "We will be escorting Katsuki Bakugo home and having a word with his parents." The officer was cut off by another reporter. "What kind of parents does he have for him to turn out like this? Clearly something is wrong with them too. You might want to investigate all the families as well, officer." The crowd of reporters descended into muttering theories as Katsuki was led to a police car and shoved in. The officer opened the driver door and sat down before turning to face Katsuki. "Listen here, brat. If it weren't against the law, I would have punched you by now. But I won't because it goes against what I stand for as an officer. I will promise you, though, I will have you punished as heavily as the law allows." With that, he turned to face the front and began to drive. It was obvious that he had been looking for Katsuki when he found him, because he didn't need to ask for directions to the Bakugo house, easily navigating the streets before parking in front of the gates. Getting out of the police car, the officer pulled Katsuki out roughly before ringing the doorbell. His parents immediately answered, his old hag pulling him into her shitty arms as they all made their way to the lounge. The officer walked in and sat down at the coffee table, refusing offers for a drink before saying the words that would change the course of Katsuki's life. "Katsuki Bakugo is under investigation for illegal quirk use, quirk discrimination, illegal quirk use with the intent to harm another person, suicide baiting, bullying, and encouraging violence against a classmate," he said bluntly, as if what he said hadn't uprooted all of Katsuki's plans. "Aldera Middle School is facing a similar inquiry and will be shut down, active immediately until the case has been settled. Have a nice day." With that, the officer walked out of the door, not looking back, as if he'd completed his job just telling them. Katsuki could feel his old hag trembling next to him. "Katsuki, you hurt someone?" Looking at her, Katsuki was surprised to see her cheeks wet with tears. He'd never seen her cry before. He was pushed aside as his old man brought the old hag into his arms and began to comfort her. When Katsuki tried to approach, he only received a glare in response. His old man had never been this angry with him before. He'd never seen the man angry, period. "Katsuki, I think you've done enough," he spoke lowly. There was still fear in his voice as he kept talking. "Your UA letter is in your room. Please, don't come out till dinner at the earliest." Holding the old hag in his arms, the old man carried her into their room. Frozen at what happened, Katsuki had to pinch himself to make sure it wasn't a dream. The walk to his bedroom was filled with questions. How did they know? Since when did he do anything wrong? The teachers never stopped him. They encouraged it. Katsuki was going to be a hero, damn it! When he finally got to his room, Katsuki saw the envelope on his desk. It was a cream white, with a red stamp marking it as from UA. Gingerly, Katsuki opened the letter and began reading. We regret to inform you that you have not been accepted into UA. Though you received enough villain points to pass, in light of recent developments, UA has reason to question your character. UA will not accept a student who has committed such atrocious crimes against another. Please reevaluate your life goals and morals before moving forward. Katsuki felt his heart drop to his stomach. What? He failed? He didn't fail the test, but in light of recent developments, what happened? Suddenly, a memory flashed in his head. The vulture bastards earlier mentioned a video. Turning on the computer, Katsuki searched for recent news and was horrified at what he saw. The headlines glared back at him. Video exposes corruption in Aldera Middle School. School of bullies and discrimination. Bakugo Katsuki, the main bully of the school. Bakugo Katsuki, villain in training? The web was full of similar articles, all with a link to a certain video. Clicking open the link, Katsuki was immediately confronted with his younger self, explosions in his hand as he laughed over the person of someone who wasn't in the frame. His eyes shone with mad delight on camera, and he was spitting out insults as the other person cowered on the floor. Now panicking, Katsuki scrolled to the bottom to see how many people have seen the video. The numbers that he saw made him want to throw up. Number 1 trending video in the world. 100 million views. In the safety of his bedroom, Izuku Midoriya smiled as he saw his video become the number 1 trending video in the world. Well, Bakugo, you said you wanted to be famous around the entire world. Now you are. Hope you smiled for the camera. Okay, I'm done. This was a really fun fic to do. I'm really excited to see how this goes. I apologize for any mistakes. I probably made a lot, and character voices really aren't my forte, so those are pretty bad too, but bye guys. Yes. Bye my shredded cheese. That's what I'm going to call you guys.